to see that through all this, some things never change, like the dangle jinx. Last night I tweet that I'm gonna make a video, and I looked down at my phone one last time before I pressed record, and the Buffalo Sabres fired their general manager, Jason Botterill, and they promoted former Leaf legend, I'm gonna throw that in there, Kevin Adams to GM. And by legend, I mean he had 5 goals and 13 points and a playoff goal! But he went to the Stanley Cup final twice and won the cup with the Hurricane, so haha for him. I meant to make this video about your questions, and I'm gonna get to them in a minute, but I guess I should probably talk about that. Over the years, we've talked about teams dramatically in many ways, and oh, they've gotta do something. And we'll say things like, they can't keep going like this, they can't go on. And sometimes we're right, and sometimes we're, like, right. Like, it was a bit dramatic, but we were still sort of right. Other times we're flat out wrong. What that team needed was patience and a couple bounces and a trade here or there. The Buffalo Sabres need an entire culture change. It's wild. And it goes so far beyond them losing hockey games. They're not even the best at losing hockey games. There are other teams that are way better at it, and they go through their hot stretches at the beginning of the season. Kind of reminds me of the Leafs a few years ago. But it just seems like a miserable, miserable place to play hockey right now. I'm not talking about the city of Buffalo. I'm talking about the Buffalo Sabres organization. Jack Eichel had 36 goals, 42 assists, 78 points in 68 games on a team that did nothing. He had 78 points. The next closest guy on his team had 50. The next guy after that had 42. But like I said, it goes so far beyond winning and losing hockey games, and they have this ridiculously big and passionate fan base. Buffalo should be a can't-fail market. You can't be having a guy like Ryan O'Reilly talking about losing his love for the game, trade him to the St. Louis Blues, and then he wins the Conn Smythe Trophy a year later. Culture is maybe the most misused word in hockey, but Kevin Adams' main job at the Buffalo Sabres, besides getting them good players, is to change the culture there. And by change the culture, I mean make it a happy place to play hockey. Okay, now that I've talked about that, hi, I'm gonna answer your questions. From Robert Malloy, how was playing against Debrincat? Ah, yes, Brindacat. For those of you who don't know, I'm gonna be participating in the Sportsnet NHL 20 Bracket Challenge powered by EA Sports. My voice, I almost the EA Sports. It's in the game. I'll work on it. But basically, it's a playoff of 16 competitors, like it should be, in NHL 20. We're playing versus against each other, and it's all for charity. Here are your competitors. In the first round, Evander Kane of the San Jose Sharks will be taking on Faisal Kamisa of Sportsnet. Christian Fisher of the Arizona Coyotes will be taking on Aaron Ambrose of the Canadian women's hockey team. I'm putting on a voice for some... I'll stop. Or no, screw it, I'm gonna keep going. Charlie McAvoy of the hated Boston Bruins will be taking on Zach Aston Reese of the much more tolerable Pittsburgh Penguins. I said what I said. Leaf fans, you're gonna like this one. Ryan Kessler of the Anaheim Ducks taking on Justin Hall of your Toronto Maple Leafs. Noted Stanley Cup champion Jordan Binnington will be taking on Melanie Daou of the Canadian women's team. And oh, this looks like a good matchup. Alex DeBrincat of the Chicago Blackhawks will be taking on noted Igor Korshkov fan Steve Dangle in the first round. Bring it, buddy, bring it. You're not on the ice anymore. This is my domain. This is the one hockey thing I get to talk trash in, and it's only sometimes. And the final 2 matchups of the first round, Roman Josi of the Nashville Predators taking on James Cybulski, the voice of the game, and 2 defensemen square off. Zach Werenski, I heard he's pretty good, taking on Vince Dunn. Episode 1 airs tomorrow. That is June 17th at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. For those of you who are like, I don't live in Canada, I believe the episodes will be uploaded to YouTube. Don't hold me to that, but I believe that's the case. Episode 2 will be June 22nd, Episode 3 will be June 24th, Episode 4 will be June 29th, and then the quarterfinals, and oh my goodness, look at all this. It's gonna go into July? It's a big deal. Oh, it's a big deal. And in round 1, it's your boy taking on Alex DeBrincat. Getting my thumbs ready. How are the victory puppies doing? Can they get victory treats because they're good doggos who deserve them? Okay. Here's the victory puppies. Look at them sitting so good. We had to shave Iggy's ears down. We tried. He went like 3 months without getting a haircut. Did you get it? Charlie usually steals it. Gentle, Charlie, gentle. Iggy, second try. All right, ready, ba. Hey, I got it. Charlie, we don't even bother. Ow! Charlie, you almost took my hand off. Iggy, can you help? Charlie, where? Iggy, you good boy who follows instructions? You good boy? You don't eat your poops. That's Charlie. Charlie eats his poops. Look at your ears. They'll grow back. Oh boy. Oh, does it feel good to rub your face against the couch? Does it feel good to rub your face? Oh, watch this. Oh, he likes the ear rubs. Rubbing yourselves on that? Iggy! Iggy, come back! They love me. Is Wilma Nylander hot? Okay, alright. Let's, do I unleash this on the world? Look what someone has done. There's a Twitter account called NHL as Baddies, and, well, you see, the thing is... Why you do this? I am respectfully declining to answer that. Assuming a fully healthy roster when everything restarts, what are your preferred line combinations? Hey, you want to see something I spent way too much time on this morning? Here's my very bad writing. You'd be dumb to break up the line combination of Zach Hyman, Austin Matthews, and Mitch Marner. I'm going to throw Ilya Mikheyev right to the Wolves. Since he's healthy to play and already practicing, he's going to play with Tavares and Nylander. I just think he provides something that line could use. The speed. He doesn't have much of a shot, but he's very defensively responsible. He'll allow the D to jump up. I love him. Pierre Engvall, I don't know, because he was awful before the break, at least in terms of production, but I really like him as a player. I'm going to put him with Kerfoot, who I think the Leafs need as their third-line center, and Kasperi Kapanen, who was really hitting a stride. Then I did everything I could to get Nick Robertson in the lineup, to have him play with Jason Spezza. I just think that goal scorer playmaker tandem is unbelievable. And then I'll have Kyle Clifford making room for them on right wing. However, that takes Dennis Malgin, who you forgot was a Leaf, and Frederic Gauthier out of the lineup. I don't know if that's going to fly, but if you bring Nick Robertson, you got to play him. Obviously, Riley Berry is the top pair. Muzzin Hall, you keep them together too. And then I had Rasmus Sandin on the third pair, but that involves scratching Travis Dermott, which I don't know. So I have Dermott and Ceci, Sandin, Marincin, Rosen, and Liljegren as the extras, and then obviously Freddie and Jack and Net. I think a perfect world would involve Dermott and Sandin there, but you know what Leaf fans don't want to admit, and I didn't want to admit? When Cody Ceci was out of the lineup, boy, the Leafs could have used him. I mean, what we see on defense there is Kyle Dubas's homework for the offseason. The blue line, as we know, it's just not good enough. And they're probably going to lose Barry. They're definitely going to lose Barry. It's not good enough. And it needs to be restructured. I think it's more than adding one guy. But the good news is you have pieces. You locked up Muzzin. You have Hall locked up. Riley's still there for a few more years. Sandin, Liljegren, they both need to take steps, though, and Dermott needs to take a step. As for the fourth line, I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't have Nick Robertson there. If it was a fourth line of Clifford, Spezza, Goat, or something like that. I just don't think it's a great use of Jason Spezza. And I think with Robertson in the lineup, his speed, his goal scoring ability, but also his inexperience, but also the fact that he killed penalties in junior, I just think that Sheldon Keefe could put on a masterclass with Nick Robertson and how he uses him. No questions, just Bane cock. Okay, so that requires some explanation. I've been playing with the Dangle Navy, NHL 20, a lot during quarantine / whatever you call this, and we just randomly talking one night came up with the character of Banecock, which is just Bane from Batman reading Babcock quotes. I'll just Google Mike Babcock quotes, you'll see.
He's been outstanding, so he's making it as hard on the coach as possible. That's a great thing.
Is this one real?
I always said...
Okay.
I always say in my family, if your knees don't hit the kitchen table, your opinion probably doesn't matter.
This from Kristen Chilton, Mike Babcock on Frederic Gauthier.
If you follow Goat's career, all Goat does is win. World Juniors, they win. Play in the American League, they win. That's what Goat does. He wins.
How is your body feeling after the gym mishap? All right, Anthony Stewart posts a video on Twitter saying that it's me, and it's me jumping up against a chin-up bar, and then I wipe out and break my neck. That's not me! It's some guy with a smaller nose and a skinnier body. I wish it was me! Except for the, like falling on his neck thing. I will admit, he does look a lot like me, though. And one last thing, I got a few questions yesterday. The podcast has gone down to 1 episode per week. We usually do that in the summer, but as we know, this summer is very odd, so we're going to be doing that for a while, and then maybe take some time off, and then hockey will probably be back It's weird. I mean, unless it's not back. But for now, that is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell all your friends that Black Lives Matter.